Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to My Hero Academia Season 7, Episode 14, titled Together with Shoji. Spinner takes heteromorphs who are exploding with resentment from being persecuted to Central Hospital to get Kurogiri back. Shoji, whose quirk also makes him a heteromorph, shouts his feelings to them. So this is continuing on pretty much where we left off a couple episodes ago. I think it was extras where we saw them getting the response of Darby's been taken down, and Spinner and Shoji had that talk about how that was fake news to try and demoralize them. And we saw that Spinner's whole army was entirely made of heteromorphs, and Spinner himself had been given an extra quirk to make him gigantic. Now, let's see how this plays out. Let's get it started in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, it actually played. You know what this... They shouldn't leave the house, but we're also going to destroy your house. That was a weird transition. Yeah. In case you haven't picked it up, the whole thing with heteromorphs is a statement against racism. Because they're just like everyone else, except for something that they can't control that they were born with. I wonder if that is applicable to our society. There's still a couple shots in this opening I can't believe they're putting in here. And every episode it just gets more and more ridiculous what I pick up. In front of Central. I do still find it funny that Kurogiri, the first Nomu, is the best, like, the most real person that they've made. Then again, I guess he does only have 1 or 2 extra. Tell me this doesn't remind you of anything. I completely forgot Rocklock was here. A black guy on the side of the police fighting against a group of people rioting for being persecuted for how they were born. Oh yeah, Coda's there too. And again, I ask, what about the heteromorphs on the police squad? Because I'm pretty sure that Gorilla Guy, Coda. The Great Jenna Purge is a another one of those Star Wars references that he slips in to Order 66. I don't remember him taking his mask off in the. Is the one who voices Skeptic the same who voices All for One? I don't think I've ever thought their voices were familiar until just now. Ah, Hmm. Did you clear anyone out? No, you're just gonna hurt. And there we have it. They made us think that it was Spinner's backstory that they were showing, but it was Shoji's. They even had a little lizard on the wall, and the cut to the close up of Spinner's face to make us think he was the one being persecuted. But no, it was Shoji's childhood. To show that he does understand. Hmm. And just another flaw in All for One's plans. To take the one that they're following and turn him brain dead. That spokesperson is pretty handy though. Exactly. It's not just one quirk he gave him. He probably could have survived and been completely cognizant had it just been one more quirk. Ooh. Can someone shut up the spokesperson for the spokesperson? Aw. That made me tear up a little. I remembered he had this speech and that, but it was more effective to actually hear it said. That's the first hero that we've seen get a quirk evolution, isn't it? He asks his best friend to go look after his students. Well, their students, but the three amigos. Someone who can get mad properly. Also, Hitchcock birds. Mm. You don't see many actual guns in Japan. Okay, was it on the one hand, I wasn't expecting to get all of that in one episode. But I also wasn't expecting it to go, this whole cutaway, to go for more than an episode. If that makes sense. Like, the Shoji and that, I think it took 2, maybe 3 chapters. Maybe. I definitely don't think it, was that many. Because it was his story together with Shoji. Possibly naked. Yeah, because it finishes with, it starts at 370 and it goes into 373. So it's 4 chapters, and we're like 2/3 of the way, maybe 3/4 of the way through it in this one episode. Which, now that I think about what's coming next, it does make sense to save that bit for the next episode so that it can carry in to what's to come. But also, the way in which they ended chapter 372 could well have been how they ended this episode. I do like the little misdirect they had at the start, where they showed someone getting attacked because they're a heteromorph. They show the lizard on the wall and that, and then it cuts to a close-up of Spinner's face. They want you to believe that this is the backstory of the person leading this revolution for the people who have been oppressed for the way in which they were born. And then you don't find out until much later in the episode that no, this is the backstory of the person standing against the revolutionary. Saying, the one preaching that there is a different route you can take. And that's not to say that Spinner didn't also have similar things happen in his past, but that's not what they were showcasing in this episode. It was showcasing that Shoji, being a little kid, being attacked for his looks, goes out one day, sees a girl drowning in the river, uses his powers to save her. He was only able to save her because of the way in which his body works. He brings that girl back to the village, and then the townspeople attack him because how can someone who's tainted touch a normal person? And that led to his scarred face in that. And like he's seen the worst side of humanity, that he did a good thing and he was punished for it, and yet he still stands up and preaches a better way to do this than to just mindlessly destroy everything. And well, I feel I'm not really the right person to be going on about this, because obviously I am very white, so I've not been in any oppressed group. Well, technically I'm a part, but I've never faced it, so I can't speak from personal experience. But yeah, there is always two ways to look at it. You've got those who will see the worst and then fight back, and those who will see the worst and try to change it. Well, both are trying to change it. It's just violence breeds violence, and violence breeds change. And yeah, it really is telling that All For One, even though he is advocating a complete change of society and everything, he is still using Spinner to gather this army for and lead them in the attack. These are just regular people going up against police and pro-heroes. And All For One is using them as a distraction to try and get Kurogiri back. The piece on the board that he actually cares about, he's willing to use Spinner, his successor's best friend, because Shigaraki and Spinner did get a genuine friendship during the league, and give him an extra quirk, this gigantification quirk, which we've seen humans can have two quirks and it'd be fine. We saw it with Nagant with her airwalk and the sniper. We see it with Todoroki with his half hot, half cold, because technically that is two quirks. And if it was just Lizard and the bigger body thing, it would have been fine. But because All For One added the scaled armor as well, it started messing with Spinner's mind. It's turning him into a Nomu, because that is what makes the Nomu brain dead, is having the multiple quirks. And if it wasn't for that scaled armor, Spinner could have effectively led this army. But because he was so out of it, because he got staggered by Shoji's words and that, there was dissent amongst the group, which gave the heroes a chance to recuperate a little before Spinner let out his his call to action at the end there. And we do also get a little bit of Coda's story in there. Like how his mum was also attacked for being a heteromorph, and his dad stepped in between her and those who were attacking her to defend her. And I do like how she says, someone who can use your anger properly. Because, yeah, that's what he's doing. And, yeah, overall, all the character stuff that we got, the scene of Shoji talking to his friends in class, them apologizing for any thing they may have said to offend him, just without even thinking about it, and then them trying to comfort him after he tells this sad story. Yeah. Anyway, this definitely did hit harder than it did when it came out in the manga, which I've said a few times this season that they've actually hit harder. But yeah, actually hearing someone say these things is a lot more impactful than reading it. But, you know, certain people are going to have issues with this episode. They've had issues with the last few, but a different group of people are going to have issue with this. And fuck them. So, with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one.